pronouns do not equal gender. Trans men don't owe you masculinity. Trans women don't owe you femininity. And non-binary people don't owe you androgyny. There's no one way to look or present as non-binary. Not at all. Lesbians who don't use she, her pronouns are valid. People who are asexual or aromantic are valid and welcome at Pride and in the community. People who use neopronouns are valid. People who identify with and use microlabels are valid. People who are unlabeled or who are questioning or changing their label are valid and very welcome. People who are bisexual, omnisexual, pansexual, polysexual, your sexualities are real and you are valid. Trans rights are human rights and protect trans youth.
What does any of that mean? Honestly, we don't know.
Remember when people used to keep it to themselves what they like to do in the privacy of their own bedrooms? Now they throw parades for people on the basis of who they like to have relations with. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a very quick and very crazy Clown World update for you guys today, and as usual, we have very little time to waste, so let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. So this individual, who is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman and calls himself a transbian or trans lesbian, is not only trying on bikinis in a woman's dressing room in a department store, but he's posting pictures online and bragging about it.
Yeah, well, you're one sick, miserable, evil SOB.
All right, we're going to keep it moving with this short clip of some high school assembly somewhere. I don't know if this is a graduation ceremony or what, but listen carefully to what she says. Now, if this happened back when I was in high school, me and my buddies would have heckled her right out of the auditorium. Roll it.
Everyone in this room currently affected by the Trump administration, listen to me now. Do not give up. Do not stop fighting. Fight for you, fight for your family, fight for everyone you know, because this country is headed towards a second Holocaust.
You fat bitch.
Now that's very interesting because back when I was in high school, me and my buddies never ever talked about politics because we were too busy being young and dumb and having fun. Anyway, next up. So this fella thinks that under the Trump administration, they can just lock you up and throw away the key. Roll it.
So now somebody at the White House wants to do away with due process, meaning they can come arrest you at your home for even talking like this. Good job, Trump supporters, because you know what? These rules apply to you too, Trump supporters. You're not getting out of this. You're the ones that did this to us. You voted in a man that's trying to predict our future. But no, you Trump supporters went and voted for a man, got him elected, and now a due process. Due process means they can throw you in jail and never let you out. And that includes you Trump supporters. This ain't no lie. Look it up. It's everybody.
You must have got manure for your brains.
You've shit for brains.
Next up, we have this young fellow who drops some typical liberal logic on us. Roll it.
It is not a crime to be undocumented in America. Let me say it again. It's not a crime to be undocumented in America. It is a civil violation, but if a civil violation was enough to get you deported, parking tickets, jaywalking, oops, I forgot to show up to court, not going to jury duty, those are all civil violations. A lot of y'all would be a hell of a lot more upset at real Americans for doing some dumb shit that they do constantly. So, let's just put that fact out there. Not a crime. Thank you. Have a great day.
You are a fucking moron.
Now, I actually showed this next clip in a video a while ago, but it's making its rounds on the interwebs again, so I figured I would show it just one more time for those of you that haven't seen it yet. Roll it.
I have tattoos on my face. Of course people assume I'm unemployed. I've got tattoos on my face. Of course people assume I've got daddy issues. I've got tattoos on my face. Of course people assume I'm severely mentally unwell. I've got tattoos on my face. Of course men think I'm kinky and into pain. I've got tattoos on my face. Of course people say that I've ruined my looks. I've got tattoos on my face. Of course people assume that I do drugs.
You on drugs?
Hey guys, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen. Now, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I just don't. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by the Etsy store Red Clover Fields. Now, many of you know that is my wife's Etsy store, and she's got some fantastic stuff on her website. Stuff I use every day, and I swear by it. So if you're looking to take control of your health and maybe get into some more natural remedies, definitely go peruse her store. I will put a link to that in the description box below. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link also in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, I think we've seen enough of this little green goblin for one day. Get this off the screen, please. Oof.
Elfie, Elfa, ¿eres tú? Wow.
That's fucking weird, huh? Holy shit. What the hell was that all about?
And next up, we have this fella who identifies as a non-binary. Now, I think that he thinks he's like the modern-day Shakespeare. He's always talking, but he doesn't really say anything. Roll it.
One of the lessons of straightness is that you only can belong if you are understood. So in order to be understood, you have to say, I am a man, I am a woman, I am this, I am category. That's not love, that's control. Love is a commitment to one another's perpetual and perennial mystery. Love says, I will never understand you. I will never get you, but I don't need to understand or get you because I'm here to be alongside you, not to consume you. The truth is, affinity doesn't come from pledging allegiance to our alienation. Affinity actually comes from embracing one another's unruliness. I love you because you're just like me, by which I mean unknowable and unfurling.
I don't know what the you're talking about.
And next up, we have this individual who is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman, and it sounds like he's gotten himself into a little pickle with the swim competition that he's in. Check this out. Roll it.
Good morning. It's Saturday, the 10th of May, and I'm at sunny Sedgemoor Services on the M5 on my way from Cornwall up to Reading. I'm travelling to Reading because I am in a swimming competition later on this afternoon. Looking forward to seeing a lot of my old friends from Reading Swimming Club and some of the officials that I used to work with. However, there's a slightly more important aspect to it as far as I'm concerned. I have now to swim in the what's called open/male category. I'm not allowed to swim as a female anymore. I used to be able to. And so I'm going to protest in my own little way. I am going to consider that if I am swimming with the men, then I must wear the same costume as the men. Or to put it another way, I'm going to swim my 50 metres breaststroke topless. Now, technically, and swimming is one of these funny sports where you have lots of rules about what costume you should wear. And I have checked this with Swim England in the past. I'm expected to wear a female costume. So, if I wear a male costume, that is something that doesn't come up above the navel, then I should technically be disqualified. However, if they disqualify me, that means I should be wearing a women's costume. If I'm wearing a women's costume, I must be a woman. Therefore, I should be able to enter the women's competition. We'll see. I'm going to try and tangle them up with their own lack of logic. I'll let you know what happens.
You pompous, stuck-up, snot-nosed, English, giant, twerp, scumbag, face, dickhead, asshole!
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this clip of the cackling hens on The View talking to former Vice President Joe and not a Dr. Jill Biden. Now, one of the fake Republicans on The View asks Joe about his cognitive decline, and listen to what he says. Anyway, things are clearly getting very crazy out there, guys, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll.
Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out, deeply sourced from Democratic sources, that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities. In the final year of your presidency, what is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that. Number one. Number two, think of what we were left with. We were left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started. Not since the Civil War. We had a circumstance where we were in a position that the pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying. 1 million people dying. And we're also in a situation where we found ourselves unable to deal with a lot of just basic issues, and which I won't go into in the interest of time. And so we went to work, and we got it done. And one of the things and
Alyssa, one of the things I think is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us, and they didn't see how hard Joe worked every single day.
What did you say? What the did you just say?
Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out, deeply sourced from Democratic sources, that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities. In the final year of your presidency, what is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that.
You fucking lying piece of shit!
2, 10, 12, 15. Oops, stepping on a. It's black. Anyway.